What are some of your answers to those types of questions?
Yeah, it's funny. I overlook so much of that language because I run around Mexico with my blonde head all the time, and I always have, and I've never thought anything of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think like anything else, don't be stupid. We have transportation that picks up people from the airport. It's luxury transportation. We take you straight to the resort. We're out doing excursions, but the town of La Paz is so sweet and adorable and incredibly safe. I've absolutely never had an issue in Mexico, but I think if you're going to find trouble, if you go looking for it, but and it isn't like you have to stay in the resort and lock yourself away because it's not safe. It isn't. I've never found that to be the case. We're always, with resort staff, and even if we're not, we're doing excursions where we're sort of guided, but the airport drive is an hour and a half to 2 hours. And that's the only, thing about La Paz is that it's a little far from the Cabo airport, but it's really not a big deal. Again, you're transported usually with your group from the airport right to the resort. And it's beautiful and charming. And the towns in Mexico are lovely. And I've never encountered an issue ever in all my years.
Yeah. I'm surprised to hear you say the Cabo airport because I've flown into the La Paz airport so many times. It's the cutest little easy to get around airport, I think, in almost all of Baja or in Mexico, just because it is right there. But I appreciate you saying all that because we do get a lot of questions like that, and I feel the same about Mexico. It's one of the safest places that I've been to in my life, and always have felt comfortable with the hospitality down there.
Oh, absolutely. And, I think as far as culture, you're not going to find anything else. I've experienced, and it's not that I've just been to these destinations. I mean, I've been to Puerto Vallarta. I've stayed in private villas alone, again, with my blonde head, and, walked around small Mexican towns and sampled the culture. And just the culture is like nothing else you'll ever find. I just enjoy that piece of it so much. I think the food is incredible. And, the hospitality, the people are so friendly. And, again, I think that it's perfectly safe. And I've spent years and years working in that destination.
So for our listeners, if you are interested in getting to a retreat down in La Paz, here's a solution for you. It's a wonderful city and easy to get to. Depending on where you're coming from, you can either go to the Cabo airport. I'm sure they would pick you up at the La Paz airport. And also, we've talked about on the show before, if you're in the San Diego County, there's an easy bridge over to the terminal in Tijuana, which has really inexpensive flights. So lots of options to get down there. But on the opposite side, or I would say on the north side of Baja, you have your property called Rancho La Puerta that you work with once in a while in Tecate. Would love to hear a little bit about that.
Yes, and we'll be putting some programming in there for winter. We're working on some right now, but Rancho La Puerta again is amazing. It's full of great programming already. They have tons of different workouts you can do, lots of classes. It's definitely an active vacation. It is not a sit around by the pool vacation. So, it's just amazing. The food is incredible. Again, so much Mexican culture, and it's different. It's actually like an hour's drive from San Diego, right over the border, and it's very safe again to do so. You're taken across the border by, U.S. officials, and it's very easy and very safe. And then the property is like 10 minutes from the border. So that's a really easy Mexico experience. Again, you're right there in San Diego. It's an hour's drive, and it's incredibly safe. I've done it alone. They have never once had an issue. But that property, too, it's very special. It's very different. Again, just because the programming, the ranch has been there for so many years, but the programming is really enhanced year after year. And there's just, again, all kinds of different things that you can do to enhance your wellness experience. And even if you just want to go alone, it's a great place to go alone because there's so many classes and different things that you can partake in just to kind of slow your life down a little bit and learn something new, try a couple classes. We're also going to do some influencer ambassador-led retreats there as well in the winter, and just to keep checking our website at My Retreats Unlimited so folks can find where and when those retreats will be.
I love what you're offering with these properties because oftentimes people think about going to Mexico and they want to go wild. whether that's in Cabo San Lucas or some of the other big resort towns. But for me, and what I feel the spirit of Mexico is exactly what you're delivering at your properties. Just reading the description of, what you offer and what you can experience there. For example, at Rancho La Puerta, it says delicious organic cuisine. We talk about the Valle de Guadalupe all the time and the farm to table cuisine down there. And what's funny, when you talk to them about farm to table, they don't know any other way. So the notion
right.
of, the notion of calling it farm to table, they're like, what are you talking about? And
I know.
I just love that that's something that you're delivering as a whole is, relaxation and organic and tranquil settings. If somebody's not familiar with Tecate and the region that we're talking about here, it is easy to get to in terms of crossing the border, but it's a mountainous region. It's beautiful. Typically, when we head to the Valle de Guadalupe, we'll head down the Pacific side. We'll tour the Valle, stay the night or not. But on our way home, we always go back through Tecate for a couple of reasons. One is it shows you a different side of the peninsula. It almost starts out in the desert, then you feel like you're in the mountains. Really isn't much out there. That's where this retreat is as you get closer to Tecate. And then the border itself is always very, very easy, typically no line. And then you're back in California. So, again, Tammy, I just love that this is one of the properties that you're working with down there because not enough people talk about Tecate.
I know, and it's actually, I'm sure people know this, but I didn't. It's actually the town where the Tecate beer is produced.
Yeah, you can't miss
I thought
it.
It was so cool. Yeah, a big bonus there. But no, but the ranch is amazing, and so many people have gone to the ranch for so many years, and they don't ever even discuss the whole border issue or getting across or the unsafetiness of it because it just doesn't exist. I mean, they have never once had a problem, and I think the ranch has been there for just, I would say, 40, 50 years. So. It's definitely a great place. Again, it's a great place to go alone because there's so much to do, or you can do nothing. But again, partaking in classes and different things that, might interest you that you might not find at another resort, it's a great, great reason to go.
Yeah, thank you for that. And if you're a stargazer, it gets really dark out there at night in that area, Tecate, because of the mountainous region and the lack of city lights. By the way, if you're crossing that border, there's a couple of fresh tortilla factories in town, and there's usually one or two people working the borderline selling fresh tortillas. So just a little tidbit, if you get there, you're hungry, you can have some fresh tortillas there. So, Tammy, you have so many other great properties here, and I know we're very biased on Mexico and Baja, but can you tell us about one or two of your other properties that you really love and appreciate, whether that's in the United States or around the world?
Oh, goodness. So many. We like to do different experiences. So, we have mountain retreats. We work with Red Mountain in St. George, Utah. Mm-hmm. And, we're able to, again, offer the adventure piece of a retreat where we can do mountain climbing. In June, we're going to be doing a major hike there that you can only do every once in a while, or you can only do in June. So we really do a lot of adventure retreats there. We also love beach retreats. So let's give people a great sampling and a lot of choices. So we work with the Don Cesar in Florida. That's on St. Pete Beach. It's a gorgeous stretch of beach. So we really want to be able to offer, anything from a desert mountain destination to a beach destination, just to make sure that, if you've got, a lot of people have personal preferences, and sometimes people prefer the beach, but they've never tried the mountain. So, we like to do different things to give, a lot of different choices to folks. But I love both of those properties. We've also got Savannah Carefree, which is a little outside of Scottsdale, a desert destination, again, a very mountainous, but a beautiful wellness destination, a great spa coming online in December. So we're always looking for new resorts that are interesting, but, we'd like to have a resort in every area of the country to make sure that it's easy for folks to travel and to get to.
Yeah, well, since we're really, most of our audience is out here in California, I see that you have the Monarch Beach Resort in Dana Point, which was probably still is one of my top properties in the world that you can stay at, just because of the nature and the feel of the property. You can feel comfortable there walking around in a pair of shorts and flip-flops, but you have the luxury and the prestigiousness of a beautiful resort on the beach. What do you guys do over there? What types of programs do you offer over there? Because I'm very interested in that.
Oh, yeah. I know. I love that. Oh, so interesting enough, we just had Natalie Jill there, who's an amazing fitness influencer, and she was there with her VIP group in September. But something really interesting that we did in April, we did a dating retreat. We have an image consultant and dating expert that, will take men and women who may be in the dating world for the first time in 10 or 15 years and sort of not necessarily make them over, but give them tips on how to flirt and how to dress and, how to sort of present themselves in a world where they may have been married for many years. So again, we do a lot of different kinds of retreats. They're definitely about wellness, but it's a lot of, it kind of runs deep in terms of what kind of wellness. We like to offer different programs to people who may be going through different things, whether it's, a job change or divorce or, just a health crisis or a health issue. So we ran a dating retreat there. And again, we're plugging in some really interesting retreats there in the spring as well. We've got a foam rolling expert in Los Angeles who I think will be coming to Dana Point. You can check the website for that. Her name is Lauren Roxburgh. She does foam rolling as a workout. So again, it's a different perspective to working out, ladies, especially if you're aging and you're tired of kind of, doing high-end cardio.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we want a different kind of a workout. And this is kind of along the same lines as yoga, but it's very different. It's more Pilates-based, but it feels amazing when you're doing it. And again, we're teaching people how to do fitness-led vacations that you don't dread, workouts that you don't like, oh, God, I have to go do this. We want to really expand upon the different ways you can do well for your body and how that may work for someone who's got a different perspective. So that may be coming to us in Dana Point in the spring as well.
Love it. Sounds like fun. Well, any last comments on your website and what you do? I mean, we love that you've got some properties you work with in Baja. That's what we're all about. And I think you've given our listeners a couple great choices and places that they can go and be transformed or enjoy an experience or just get well from whatever their ailment is. So any last thoughts for you?
Yeah, I would just encourage people just to try it. I know that there's a lot of fear kind of going into, if I do this by myself and there's people, will they like me? Will I fit in? What if I'm not fit enough? There's all these things that people sort of don't book a retreat. Those are the reasons that they don't book a retreat. And I guess my advice to everyone is just try it. There are so many different levels of fitness. There are so many different people. And I have to tell you that they always leave the best of friends. It's the most amazing experience every single time we do it. And it's just something we're so excited to share with the world because it does transform you in more ways than one. It doesn't have to be about fitness, but it can be about slowing down and connecting and trying something new. And we just really encourage, even if you're a single woman, single man, go do it. Just go try it once and see what it does for you. I think that, it's an amazing program, regardless of what who your influencer is. You'll definitely learn something new and do something great for yourself.
Yeah, I do some life coaching in my business life, and I love that in big, bold letters it says on your website, make yourself a priority, because I think it's so important to recharge and just be the best you can be for the people around you, whether you have a family that you're taking care of and or business colleagues, extensions of your family, neighbors, but make yourself a priority so that you can be 100% for the people that need you as well.
Absolutely. And, of course, not to be negative, but, you really do need to make yourself a priority. We've seen people that don't. You might be one of them, listeners, that don't make yourself a priority, especially busy mothers. I mean, working fathers, it's hard. But when you suffer a health crisis and it's too late, you've got one body and one mind, and you really need to take care of it. And 4 days away from your family, from your job, is really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. If you get sick and you miss more time than that, it's a bigger deal. So, make yourself a priority. That is really our tagline and something incredibly important that we really do encourage everyone to do because it really does matter. And, you have to do it because your health is everything.
I'm gonna let you answer one more question for me, please. And it's what I hear a lot too. I don't have time to do that.
I would respond to you by saying, do you have time to get sick?
Oh, good answer.
I think of that so often. I've seen it. I've seen 20-year-olds filled with anxiety. I've seen working mothers, go down and be in bed for 3 months. I've seen 40-year-old physicians have heart attacks. I mean, again, not to